Hey, everybody. If you want the full uncensored episode, be sure to click the link below to join the Fight Club on Patreon. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. That's the first thing Tim told me. I said, did you ever play against Ash? He said, yeah. He said, my first shift. He said, I got out on the ice. He said, it only lasted 2 fucking seconds because he fought Myers.
That'll be a suspension. That'll be a fine. Nyland's going ballistic. He's a freaking madman.
I'm Chris Nyland, and this is the Raw Knuckles Podcast. Let's get cranking here. Ash, awesome that you joined us today. Really appreciate it. I've been, I watched you when I was retired, and I liked the way you played, no question. And then we got to meet in alumni games, and you're certainly the guy I thought you were, which was awesome to get to meet you. Going back to growing up in Manitoba and a community you grew up in, how did that help develop and shape you to go on and have the career you had?
Well, I don't think, I grew up like a lot of kids. I was around a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, and, kind of hockey was my go-to place. So I was constantly on the outdoor rinks. My dad made me an outdoor rink in the yard. So I was constantly honing my skills there, and just rough and tough, area I grew up in. And my family was rough and tough. And, I learned from my older brothers how to protect myself. And, I was always, even when I was younger, up into my junior days, I was always like a scorer. I was one of those point guys, and I had to change my ways to make it to the next level, and that's when the fighting came in.
So yeah, you do have like you're built like your height, your weight, and you could score goals. You're very similar to Chris, and I was wondering, did you emulate your game after anyone like Chris?
Yeah,
growing up, who did you emulate after?
Yeah, I like Course. Course and Nux, Wendell Clark. Just those hard nosed players that that could put the puck in. That was always there for the teammates. A good locker room guy, and I think that's what kept me around so long. As I was willing to do whatever I took to win. I would stick up for my teammates on and off the ice, and I was just a good locker room guy, and always tried to stay positive. I knew I wasn't getting out there friggin', more than 8-9 minutes a game, so I was trying to be positive on the bench and be the rah-rah guy, and if anything happened to any of my guys, then I'd have to do the deed. But I enjoyed that part of the game for sure.
So growing up in Portage, you didn't grow up on a res, right?
No.
And you're of Métis descent, right?
Yeah, Métis, yeah.
Métis.
Yeah.
And Métis is European and native, right?
It's like, French Canadian, I guess. French and I guess where it came from. But my family grew up on the first Métis settlement in Manitoba. So, we go back way in the Métis settlement area, and it was pretty cool growing up.
Yeah, Sheldon Souray too is Métis, right?
Yeah, Shelley. Yeah. There's actually quite a few of them out there right now that are playing. We got White Cloud. There's Montour from Florida. So we're slowly making our way in, and it's definitely nice to see.
Yeah, for sure. And growing up playing minor hockey around there, and when you, I guess, got in travel teams, did you have to deal with any of the racist stuff that some kids have to deal with growing up? Because I have a good buddy here, Mohawk from Kanawaki, a very good friend of mine, and he had to deal with a lot of that shit in minor hockey. And he told me, he's obviously had to stand up for himself, because a lot of times shit would happen on the ice and kids would say stuff that no one hears. Sometimes they do it when the ref ain't there or no one else, and you hear it. Yeah.
You got a bit of it, but I think more of my my cousin Marcel. I think he was a really good hockey player as well, and he took quite a bit of of that stuff growing up, and I got it a little bit here and there, but I'd go and score 4 or 5 goals on them, and hurt them that way. Then
did your older brothers play too growing up?
My oldest brother, who's not with us anymore, he played. He was a really good athlete, but he had a short fuse, so if anything happened, he'd like run a goalie or do something crazy. So I might have got that that crazy part for him, but he was a good hockey player. Like the whole family was athletes. We were baseball, hockey in the winter, and in the summertime we were constantly on the playing road hockey or playing baseball or doing something.
So Ash, growing up there, obviously the 2 big teams in Canada, Montreal, Toronto, and Edmonton at the time, but the 2 big markets, Toronto, Montreal. Who was your favorite team?
Growing up, I was a Jets fan and an Oilers fan. Montreal was not on my favorite team list.
Even with that French in there with the Métis?
No, yeah. Well, there was a lot of Montreal fans in Manitoba because we are the second, most speaking French province in Canada. So there was a lot of those fans that were happy that I was drafted by them. But I was a Jets fan and I was an Oilers fan growing up, and didn't like Toronto. Still don't like Toronto, but. I still root for the Habs. All my old teams I still root for, but growing up it was the Jets and the Oilers for sure.
Who were your favorite players? Some of your favorite players growing up?
Wayno for sure was there. Mario. I liked Messier, Curry. Dale Howardchuk was also one of my favorites. Jamnoff, watching him, Solani. I got to watch some pretty good players growing up. So, a lot of Hall of Famers, but those Oilers that 80s Oilers, that was right in my prime. So I was definitely a big Oilers fan.
They were a fucking powerhouse. It's crazy. Like I remember, my first couple of years there, and then we played them in the playoffs before they were ready to really kick off. And man, they fucking give it to us, and it just. They were so fast as a group. They were an incredible team.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
The Jets always, somehow ended up with them in the first round. And it was, they'd win a few games and everyone would get excited, and then the boys would turn it on, and just can't stop those guys. They're just way too good.
So you played in the Dub, played 4 years there in Red Deer. Your first year, how old are you your first year, Ash?
I was 16.
16. Now, and a lot of people don't know, we get called, you get the NHL, you come out of the runway, they call your name, Arron Asham, they introduce you. People do not have a clue really what one goes through to get to that point. And being a 16-year-old kid, going away from home and having, was it intimidating for you at that age, young age, coming into the junior hockey your first year, and then this guy's been there for a while, some older teenagers that are there, some vets, if you will, and you come in at 16. What is that like?
Well, they listed me. The scout Carter Sears, he heard about me from somewhere, and I was playing up in Thompson, Manitoba, which is way, way up north. And I guess he drove from Red Deer. He came up and watched me, and I had a really good provincials. So he listed me right there. And then come August, he calls and says, we got a bus ticket for you. My dad takes me to the bus depot and got my bags, not a clue. I was friggin' just turned 16, and he's like, okay, man, good luck. And I was like, I'm not fucking leaving. I just got a new girlfriend. It was just.
What's the bus ride like? Come on, you're 16 years old. Boom, you get on that bus with your bag. You say, you just had a girlfriend, right? Your girlfriend, you got to leave her.
It's like a 16-hour bus ride too. And, so I was like, I told my old man, I was like, yeah, I'm not going. I was like, I'm not going. So he comes and picks me up, and then Carter, the scout, calls me, and he's like, you're not coming now? I was like, no. So he drove from Red Deer again. He drove to my hometown and put me in the car and drove me up to Red Deer. And once I got there the first week, new billets, and the way I grew up was, we were praying at the table and stuff, and like I was like, geez, what am I doing here? But then once I got to meet the guys and started going out a little bit and hanging out, it was the best time of my life, and junior it was
Right.
unbelievable, so much fun.
Now, so you spent 4 years there. You break in. What's that first fight like for you, and how did that happen? Your first fight in junior.
It was my first exhibition game, and I was always a physical player, but I never had to fight. So I was on a forecheck, and I just pasted this guy. I don't even know who he was, and I just finished my check, and I was skating away, and I just felt my jersey a tug, and then I turned around, and his punches were thrown, and so I got in there and started chucking, and I honestly right there I fell in love with it. Every game I wanted to fight, and I had to get settled down a few times, but it was good. But going in there as a young kid, like I was so nervous. Like I'm not a big crowd. Like I don't like big crowds. But going in there and trying to meet everyone, and I was like, geez, these guys were huge, hair on their chest. I just barely got hair in my balls, and going in there with some of these guys.
It's intimidating.
It was.
Right?
It was definitely intimidating. But once you get to know everyone, back. When I do alumni stuff, I see some of the older guys, and they're like, "You're a cocky little fucker." When I was like, I was so nervous. I didn't know. But once you get those couple of weeks, you get to know everyone, and then you get the parties, and you have the fun, and it was a blast. I loved it.
Was that your first game you fought?
First exhibition game.
So did you score? Yeah. Did you score or fight first?
I fought first. Yeah. Yeah. It was like my first or second shift. It was like back in those days, the dub, like that was, especially like it was like the Wild Wild West. Like it was crazy, So it was definitely eye opening. But right there, I was like, I loved it. I loved it.
Calling all hockey lovers. Upgrade your podcast experience by becoming an enforcer. Gain access to the greatest hockey doc ever, The Last Gladiators. And don't settle for ordinary. Join the Fight Club over on Patreon today. So your draft year, where was the draft? 96,
St. Louis.
It was in St. Louis. Did you go to the draft? Or?
I did, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
I met my agent there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what was that like sitting there? Because, I got drafted in 78, the year you were born.
Yeah.
And I found out on TV, the sports that night, they said there's 5 or 6 guys from colleges around Boston who were drafted, and they went through it. I got a letter from the Canadians 2 weeks later inviting me to training camp. And then, I often wonder what year it was they changed that where guys started going to draft. But so you went to the draft.
Yeah.
And did you have an idea maybe where you would go, or your agent talked to you about that?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on going. I couldn't afford. My family couldn't afford to fly me up there. I don't think half of them couldn't get over the border, anyways. But so I did. My agent flew me up there and looked after everything, and I guess he knew I was going in the first 4 rounds, and I was expected to go. I think San Jose was going to take me in the 4th, and so I was just chilling out there, just waiting, and they called me in the 3rd, 71st overall to Montreal, and it was experience went up. It was good. It was good. I went up. They had a suite at the hotel, and me and Higgins and Matthew Garon was there, and of course, the Western boys, we crack a beer right away, and all the French guys are sitting there. Like I'm sitting there drinking with Reg and and all the coaches and stuff, and it was good. We had a hell of a party at the hotel with all the guys that got drafted, and racked up my agent's room bill, and it was good. It was a good time, good experience for sure.
Good stuff. So the Habs draft you. Now it's time to go off to camp. You go to camp. And your time in Montreal, I look at it, you were up and down. It's like, and I'm not defending the organization here, but I look at it, you was such a sought after, you were a fucking hockey player. Some guys play hockey you were a hockey player, and
Yeah.
you could fight and you could play the game. And sure, we all have to develop, but I look at the up and down there, and I also look at the organization at the time. Ray Jean running the show, who Reg really, God bless him, I played with him. He just was not cut out for that job. And what do you think that kind of had to, like, it seemed like an organization in turmoil, to be honest with you. Did that have an effect on your?
It was. I'm not sure how. It was. Their fourth line was very old. Like back then, like there was not many 18, 19, 20-year-olds that were up there, right?
Yeah.
And it just seemed like every year they would sign an older player, and they would send me down the first few months, and then they would call me up and keep me up for the year. And it happened the first three years that I was with them. And I liked Reg. I liked Mario. I think they liked me.
Yeah.
And then Savard came in, Andre, and he just didn't like me, and I wasn't too fond of him, and it just kind of went downhill from there. And I guess I was a bit of a fuck up in Montreal too, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I was probably partying and going out too much, but
it's kind of a fun city, you know.
It's a fun city, and and when you're with when you're a Montreal Canadian, it's makes that city 10 times better. And I took advantage of it, and it might have hurt me a little bit, but I was showing up to practice every day, working my balls off, and I was doing my thing in the games, sticking up, fighting, and just Andre didn't like me, and that was that.
Were you there? Well, Andre too. I mean, I remember back in the day when he got the job, somebody said to me, we got a fucking Quebec Nordique running the Canadians. What the fuck is going on? And it was true. Like, we're hello.
I don't know what it was, what he had against me, because, I guess he probably heard stories about me going out and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like games and practices, I was always one of the hardest workers out there. And, it just, I don't know. Shit happens, I guess.
That's a good part of the game. You get guys who show up, guys who are going to practice hard, guys who are going to show up in games. That's what you want. And that just sucks because, that's certainly something that team always needed, being in that division. You always need guys like you and Shane Corson and Claude Lemieux, Mike McPhee, guys like that. But so were you there when Patrick got shelled and ended up being shipped out of town? No, you were down.
I was down. I wasn't there for that, but yeah, that was and to shove it up their ass and go and win two cups with them was
right.
The next year, it's crazy. But they love him down here. He has them humming right now. So
yeah,
I've heard nothing but good things about him.
Are you ready to take your love for hockey to the next level? Join the Fight Club Raw Knuckles exclusive Patreon to unlock amazing perks like ad-free episodes, bonus interviews, and even a chance to win a game day experience with me in the Habs Cave. Don't miss out on this ultimate hockey experience. So you go to Philly 2 years, the Pens for 2 years, the Rangers for 2 years. And when you look back over those years, your career, the 15 years you played, pick me that 1 year that was your best year of hockey. You just everything was going your way. You loved it. What was that best year for you?
Oh, geez, the best year. I think it was. Oh God,
I'm only letting you pick one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best time, because earlier in my career I was having fun, but like the alcohol and the drugs were taking over. So I'll probably have to say once I went to Pittsburgh, and I was I felt at home there. I got to play with Sid and Gino, and it was probably those 2 years. Even though I went to the Cup with Philly the previous year.
Yeah.
Just having that time in Pittsburgh and watching arguably one of the best players to ever play the game, practice and play every day. And I just felt at home there.
That's what I was trying to say though in the beginning. My first preseason game was against Pittsburgh, and I was like 2 seconds because they put me on a line with Chris Newberry and Jamal Mayers, and you've decided to fight Jamal Mayers, but so my first preseason shift was 2 seconds because of you. But I was telling Chris, I was wondering why, like I was asking you to go, and I don't know why you weren't fighting me, and I was just wondering. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Look, zero chance. No, yeah. You asked me to go?
He's like, no.
I would have taken that one for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here. It's funny.
Oh, yeah. That's the first thing Tim told me. I said, did you ever play against Ash? He said, yeah. He said, my first shift. He said, I got out on the ice. He said, it only lasted 2 fucking seconds because he fought Myers. So... so the Pens certainly great. Yeah, but that year with Philly, played 23 games in the playoffs that year. Now, we all want to play to win that Stanley Cup. We got it. 4 goals, 3 assists, good postseason numbers. Like you played Chicago in the final, right?
Yeah.
And getting so close, right?
Yeah.
Like you get so close. I cannot imagine getting there and not winning it. How difficult that must be to deal with, because it's such a fucking grind, right? To get to that point.
It's especially the way we made it in on a shootout our last game of the season against the Rangers. And I was sitting in the hot tub with Hartnell. We're having a beer after the game, and I was like, or no, it was before the game where we're having a stretch, having a soak, and I was like, whoever wins this game is going to win the cup. And then we ended up winning the game and ended up going to the finals. But that year we lost Ray Emery. He had hip surgery. Our number one goalie. We had Brian Boucher, who did a terrific job for us. Then he got hurt. Then we had Michael Layton come in, who was a call up from the minors, and. Just that final series, we just, we needed a couple of key stops. I'm not blaming the goalies, but I think if we had, Razor, our number one, I think we would have pulled that out. But
was Kaner's goal like confusing? Like, was that confusing? Like that was weird.
Yeah. Well, I all the fans were confused, but as soon as he raised his hands and started jumping around, I was like, "Fuck me, I think that's in." And man, what a heartbreaker that was. Right.
And, and you're right about the goaltending, because I think the years, you always, teams are so different when they have their starting goaltender in there, right? There's that comfort zone. And not that you sit back and relax, you just know. And when, you have a backup goalie in, and that certainly had to be tough for you guys, kind of hamstrung, and not to blame it on the goalies, but things change when you got the backup in there.
But that's the same year you guys came back 3-0, right?
Yeah, that was the year we came back from Boston. How was
that? That was crazy, huh?
Yeah. It was nuts, and that's when Layton came in.
4 straight games. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Bush got hurt in that series, and then we were down 3, and then Mike Richards hammered Krejci, and that switched the series in Game 4. We ended up winning Game 4 in overtime, and then just the ball started rolling. And even when we were down 3-0, Game 7 in Boston, we had pulled a timeout, and it was just like, we need to get one here before the first is over, and if we do, we got them.
You guys believed when you were down 3-0? Like, even in I was just thinking, like, when I was in, like, Europe, like, if we were down 3-0, I'd be, like, booking flights already. You guys weren't
no. We had Chris Pronger, we had Kimmo Timonen, we had Ian LaPerriere. We had a lot of veteran presence out there, and, we had a young Claude Giroux who, was just coming into his own. We had Vance, Hartnell. We had a really good team.
Billy Lano, I played with him. He was my line mate. He had a good playoffs. I remember that.
He had an unbelievable. Got him paid too, which was great. Which was great for Billy.
Right.
But even when we were down, we knew, and Lavi had us humming, and we scored that goal with like 2 minutes left in the first, and we came in and we're like, they're done. We got them. we just fucking battled, and Gagne scored a power play goal with 7 minutes left, and that was that.
Yeah, it's funny that that year I remember watching that in the playoffs. The Bruins were up, and I'm like, yeah, they got this one, and then fucking roaring back. And you know, I was close to on my way to rehab right then, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure I was seeing. I was believing what I was seeing.
It was. Let me tell you, it was just unbelievable how it just snowballed into what it did, and then we were playing in the finals against Montreal, and we knew we were beating them.
How many game seven? Have you played in a few game sevens?
Yeah, I played in like 3 or 4 of them at least.
Yeah, because Nux and I were, because I was thinking about that 3-0 coming back, and then game 7 was in Boston. And we were talking about that, Nux, right? Like, would you rather be at home or away? And it's like, I think it's an advantage to be away.
Yeah.
Game 7s, it's just so much pressure on the home team, right? Like, especially Boston.
You have to win. Yeah,
they're up 3. You know, like game goes to overtime, and you know we end up winning, and it was crazy. Like the pressure on them must have been like even last year, like when they lost to Florida, like it's pressure, man. It's tough to deal with.
It's huge, right? You know, like Tampa when they played Columbus, right? That man, they got spanked that year. They beat them 4 straight. But so the Rangers, you go to the Rangers, you play for Torts there. Everybody, Torts is fucking crazy. Torts is too tough on everybody. Torts is this and Torts is that. Now, I've never played for him, but I think I would probably get along with him. I think he'd probably like me. How was he with you?
I love Torts. I love him. You know, he's passionate, wants to win. You know, he wants to get the best out of you, and you know, some of the stars, some of the guys, you know, couldn't handle it. And, you know, he didn't play me much, you know, but, you know, I had nothing but respect for him. He was one of my favorite coaches, and, you know, he was honest. He was honest with you. And, you know, that's the thing, you know, if you had a bad game, he'd tell you, you fucking stunk, you know, like wake it up. And, you know, I respect guys like that. And, you know, some guys rubs them the wrong way, and you know, Gabrick, who was there when I was there, I was kind of his whipping boy, and you know, every meeting I would go in there, I knew I wouldn't be bothered, and fucking Gabby would just be dodging bullets left and right. You know, Torres would just be hammering them, but I loved him. You know, what he did in Philly this year with the team he had, you know, they brought him right to the end, and you know, I love him.
How about the situation with Couturier this year? And I don't know if that hurt that team because they lost 8 straight, right, near the end. And Couturier is a captain. He was out. He had a bad back for 2 years, right? He had 2 surgeries. Yeah. He battles back, and he's not playing well. He wasn't putting any numbers up. But he was trying. I guess Torts thought otherwise. Think he probably could have handled that better? Because and just maybe they'd be in the playoff.
It's possible.
We'll never know. But
you know, that's just
because that affects the other guys, right? When you see a guy that you like, your teammate, getting treated like that,
that's your leader, right? That's you know, that's I think he could have. But that's just how he is, right? That's just how he rolls. If you know, if you're not doing what you're supposed to help the team win, he's going to find someone who's you know going to do that. And you know, to sit you a healthy scratcher captain, it's pretty ballsy, but you know that's Torts.
Oh yeah. So.
And you just picked him as captain like a month ago.
Yeah. That's
you're captain, but you're sitting in the stands.
Yeah, that's just how Torts rolls. You know, that's just his mentality, and you know, it might have hurt him down stretch, but you know, it's just the way it goes, I guess.
Get closer to the action in the Fight Club with the Raw Knuckles podcast over on Patreon. Whether you're an instigator, enforcer, or aiming for the Hall of Fame, there's something for everyone waiting for you. Don't miss your chance to be part of the ultimate hockey community. So, Ash, I used to fight a bit off the ice, you know.
Yeah.
I had some beefs. When I was in the NHL, I had one fight at Thursdays against the Oilers were in there, and I ended up cracking Dave Lumley playing for the Oilers. Got back to Serge. What the fuck are you doing? Fighting in the bar room the day before the game? Tabarnak, what are you doing? And I know you had a few altercations off the ice. What was the one where you dropped a few different guys? Was it 5 guys? Was that in junior or
that was
pro?
That was when I was with the Devils.
With the Devs, yeah. Did you drop 5 guys or something?
3, yeah.
Three guys?
Was, 3 guys. We were, we play somewhere. We get into Colorado like midnight. So me, Brodeur, Pandolfo, Madden, because some of the older guys, we go and we stop to have a couple beers. So we're in this one establishment. We order like 20 beers and we're sitting there having a few. And these 3 guys, and they're in nurses' greens.
Oh, okay.
They start on Marty, blah, 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 blah. All night.
They knew he was a hockey player. They knew it was Marty. Okay.
So they're harassing him. So we're leaving. We jump in a couple of cabs, and they're behind us yapping, and we're in our suits. So I had enough, and I was like, fucking, told Pandolfo, our man, I was like, here, hold my jacket, I'll be right back. They jump out, and these 3 just yapping. I was like, come on, let's go then. So this one guy comes running up to me, and I fucking crack him, and I drop him. His buddy comes, drop him, and a third guy comes, and I drop all 3 punches. The first guy gets up, and he's like trying to karate kick me, and I just lean into one and fucking drop him, and another guy comes, and I drop him. So I threw 5 punches, and I dropped these 3 guys, and then 2 guys twice. And I walk back to the cabs, and the looks on these guys' fucking faces, they're like what the? I was like, let's get out of here before the fucking cops come, you know?
You sure they were male nurses?
They had their greens on. Yeah, no female. I don't kidding.
I'm like sitting here. I'm like, Ash, I never asked you to fight. That was a joke earlier. I promise you, I never asked you.
It was hilarious, and I got a lot of. I told the story on I can't remember whose cast, but I was getting like friggin' that's bullshit. Blah 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 blah. I was like, talk to Marty, talk to Pandolfo and Madden, and 100% they'll tell you it was true. But yeah, I got into a few dust ups. Montreal was one of my scariest ones, and got into a fight with one? I was at Super Sex, me and TR, Matt Higgins, Alan Nazardine, and we're just up there waiting to get a seat, and they put us up at that little top bar to start, and we're ordering some beers, and Matt Higgins is arguing with some French guy. So I get in there, and I'm trying to be the peace guy.
Yeah.
Like, break it up. And this guy, open hand, fucking slaps me in the face.
Oh.
I just fucking cracked him and dropped him. And next thing you know, the bartender, the bouncers come up, and they're like, oh, come on, you know. Come to take us down to our table. And 2 minutes later, this guy with no shirt, he just has a black vest on, comes walking by me, and he's like, fucking. So I was like, let's go outside, just me and you. And then the bouncers come back, they kind of break us up, and he flashes me a gun. It's like, you're dead. I guess this guy was from the Rock Machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That I punched out. So the bouncer's like, oh, I'll try to clear it up. I'll tell him you're hockey, blah, blah, blah. He comes back a minute later, goes, you guys got to get out of here. You got a bunch of guys coming down.
Ooh.
So we're fucking, thank God Nasruddin has his car parked. There's a spot right in the front of Super Sex. Terry Ryan leaves out the fucking bathroom window, goes down the back way, and we jump in, and he's got this little Nissan fucking supercar. There's like 6 of us in the fucking back. So we go back to the hotel, and I have my cousins and family that run with the Angels, so I called my cousin. I was like, fuck, I just punched out a guy from the Rock Machine. They flashed a gun at me. It's like, fuck, what do I do? He goes, oh, let me make a few calls. he calls me back and he's like, yeah, don't go back there. And just be careful walking to fucking practice tomorrow. So we get up in the morning and we're fucking underground. Like, fucking, guys like asking for your autographs. We're like, oh, fuck, I didn't know what was going on, but thank God nothing came out of that. But yeah, there's some stupid shit I did. Fucking, when you're young and
did that
drunk.
Get back to the team?
That one did not. No.
Good.
I had a couple, quite a few in Montreal, but.
Were you like looking over your shoulder for a long while? Like that, or like.
Yeah, basically that full year I was.
Right? Like, fuck.
Pretty nervous.
Yeah.
And the Rock. I was just going to tell Tim, the Rock Machine was kind of in competition with the Hells.
Okay,
Angels.
I figured,
The Hells are big up here, right?
I think they're in their wars right around that time too. Yeah. So stupid timing by me, but anyone open hand slaps me.
Yeah,
they're getting something. Yeah, so
who wouldn't? I don't blame you for that one for sure.
Stupid timing for sure.
It's funny. I go back because we used to go to Shea all the time. I think I might have been to Super Sex 2 or 3 times. I didn't like Super Sex, but we used to go to the Shea, and I always tell that. I've told the story, and we had him on too, John LeClaire, right? And Johnny was a rookie. It was my last year, and we're all sitting in there drinking in the afternoon, and fuck, who comes walking in? Pat Burns. And Burns, he walks in, and he's just looking, and John LeClaire goes, fuck, there's the coach. He said, I got to get the fuck out of here. I said, don't you fucking move. Just stay right there. You move, he's going to think you're the biggest fucking pussy wimp. Buy him a beer. Fucking buys him a beer. Anyway, Burnsy leaves. He got sent down the next day. He said, if I don't leave, I'm going to get sent down. I said, fuck. I knew it was either way. It wasn't. I said, you're going to look like a pussy if you fucking walk out. But Burnsy he will not respect you if you walk out. So I made him stay. I felt bad for the kid. But look what happened.
That was like in Tampa with Millbury. We play Tampa, we end up losing, we stay there the night, and we're flying back home the next day. And he's on the bus, and he's like, everyone in their fucking rooms tonight, blah, 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 blah. No one's going out. So me and my roommate were like, fuck, we're going out. So we ended up in this fucking one bar. It's called Hat Tricks down by the Gaylord, the arena there. And we're in there fucking saucing it up, and who do we see? Fucking Millbury. So he comes walking over to us fucking hammered. And he's like, I'll talk to you fucking guys in the morning. Like, blah, blah, blah. We play the Rangers in 2 days. I fucking told you. So we fucking take off. We go back home and we get on the bus in the morning. I'm like, fuck, he's going to call us out in front of the fucking team. Blah, blah, blah. Not a fucking word. I don't think he fucking remembered. Well, if he remembered seeing us or if he just didn't fucking care, but...
he was good at that because when we were in Boston coaching, all right, we were in Hartford. We're going to play in the playoffs, and it was one of them fuck you games. And we, he called a curfew. Anyway, fucking, we're in the bar. We're like, fuck it, it's the second last game of the season or something. Playoffs were wrapped up. And he comes walking, and there's a big window in the front bar, and there's him looking in the window, and he sees us at the bar. We're like, holy fuck! Me, Janny, I think Cam was there, Ray was there, a few of us, and he come walking in, goes, gentlemen, goes over to the bartender. He bought us all Jello shots, and fucking he did Jello shots with us, bought us a round of beers, and then he walked out and never said enough. Didn't say a fucking word the next day. Yeah. We were like, it was pretty funny.
Him for that. Like, he's either too hammered or he's just, fuck. He knew the fucking. I'm sure he knew some of the boys were going to head out anyway.
Wasn't like Mike Keenan, that story where he fucking 12 o'clock curfew and then he had the bus boy at that hotel. Like, he's like, anybody comes in after 12, get their autograph.
Yeah, that's I heard.
And then he walked in. Then he walked into the next day practice wearing the hat. No, the guy you're on the hat.
I heard Lou used to do that. So I would coming into the hotels late at night. I would never sign anything. Just
right.
Don't want that hassle of fucking getting skated the next day. But I played with TR for year in junior, and we were in the minors together, and we're in Newfoundland. We fly into Newfoundland. We had Michelle Therrien as our coach.
Oh, fuck.
So we land, and TR knows everyone. He has everything all set up already, and Therrien gives us a curfew. We had, even though we played the next day, but fuck, it's Newfoundland, right? So we were all in our suits, and we're in our fucking in bed. We had got our cologne on, and he comes and checks, and he walks in the rooms and sees we're all in bed, and so we're like, he shuts the thing. We're fucking out the back door over the fence in a cab. We're gone down to fucking George Street. So we get fucking busted. And he fucking skates us in the morning fucking for an hour and like 10 minutes straight. Fucking. And this fucking guy, I didn't mind. Do you have ties with him at all, Therrien?
I don't. I know him. I say hi to him, talk to him, but I've never. He was in the minors and he was in one of our training camps, 2 of my camps when I was there, and I don't even remember him, honestly. And everybody said what a tough guy he was, and I figured, fuck, if he was that tough, why didn't he fight me in training camp?
I thought he was, from what I heard, he was one of the biggest chicken shits out there.
Yeah. He just
coached tough, right?
Well, I heard in junior, right, when he was coaching junior, they had lost the game really bad, and they were on the road. They got on the bus, and there was all St. Hubert chicken for everybody, right? He wouldn't let anybody grab their meal. He said, don't touch the food. They all went and sat down. He fucking pulled over the rest area. Someone told me this story. I believe it's true. And he took all the fucking St. Hubert and put it in the fucking garbage bin. And
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What was it? Wasn't there something happen with him in Newfoundland too?
Yeah, it was during playoffs. Game 5 is best of 5 series there. Him and some of the assistant coaches go out the night before the game, what coaches usually do. And some of their players were out. Mark Dale and Lonnie Bahanas, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, earlier in the year, Mark Dale lost his eye in a game.
Wow.
Him and Bahanas are really good friends, so Therrien's chirping Bahanas. I'm glad your buddy in the bar. I'm glad your buddy lost his eye, blah, blah, blah. And Bahanas fucking cracks him, punches him. Cops are involved. So we have this fucking meeting, pregame meeting in the morning, and he's fucking crying. Michelle Therrien's crying, saying that he fears for his family and his wife and blah, 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 and that he was almost killed the night before. But found out that he started the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But got the boys fucking, it was game 5. We ended up coming in and winning it, but we had police escorts. It was crazy. But yeah, he got punched out at the bar for talking when he should have been listening.
Exactly. It's funny, like, I've seen some videos of him, and I've talked to quite a few players who said he just fucking treated guys like shit. And I fucking hate that. I think that's, I get being hard on guys because some guys you need a kick in the fucking ass,
Yeah.
You do. I had guys kick me in the ass, Bob, very few coaches. And, but treating you like shit, that respect.
Well, he would bring you into his office for a meeting, and he'd like, I have your career in the palm of my hand. Like, I can swish it anytime I want.
Yeah.
Like, I played with Dave Morissette, the Moose.
Yeah, Moose. I love Moose.
And he would have a meeting with Moose, and he wouldn't have it alone. He had to have Jerry Fleming, who was our assistant coach, in there with him because he's fucking terrified of Moose.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just one of those guys. He would smoke on the bus.
Yeah.
So we'd be fucking driving. Well, we were in the back fucking. We were like, fuck it. So we're lighting up and fucking smoking in the back of the bus. I'm like, what the fuck? I just came from junior, we can barely chew on the bus. And we're drinking beers and smoking cigarettes in the back of the fucking bus. He just didn't give a shit.
So, Ash, now that hockey's over, I know you got Arron's chance to play hockey, your foundation, working in partnership with your community and stuff, helping some of the younger kids. You got 4 kids of your own: Aislinn, Ocean, Dexter, and Cruz. I love the names.
Good
Just
names, right?
Awesome names.
Yeah,
It is awesome.
You know, how's it going down there? And is your wife from Long Island or?
Yeah, ex-wife. She's from
Right.
she's from Maryland originally, but I met her here on the island. And working with the Islanders, doing some amateur hockey stuff, and working through the NHL. There's a learn to play program, and I just like working with the kids, you know, and being around the kids and trying to
Good for you.
Trying to keep them straight and narrow, because you know, I've seen a lot of crazy shit growing up, so just trying to get them on the right path, and just being on the ice, being on the rink. That's all I know, right? So I was never a scholar. By far a scholar, and so I'm doing that, and
So you put the crazy stuff behind you that like
all that stuff. All that
good
stuff.
For you.
Done. I have the odd drinks, every now and then, but more than anything, I'm just me and my dog are hanging out, and busy with traveling with my kids, especially my little guy's hockey and his lacrosse and every fucking thing else he does.
What kind of dog? Yeah, you're dad of the year. Like, I'm dad of the year too.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy, but it's fun. I enjoy watching him compete, and he's fucking hates losing, and he's got that competitive edge, and he's a Pee-wee minor right now, but he just can't wait to start hitting, and it's just fun watching, and it's great to be a part of. And I never had parents didn't attend too many games when I was younger and stuff, so I try to get out to as much as I can with them, and
So you live close to the kids, close to where you live? You're the same community? Good.
Yeah, we're 3 blocks away.
Oh, that's awesome.
My 2 daughters are back in Canada. Actually, I got American Bulldog. My daughter breeds American Bullies.
Those are
Yeah,
cool.
so this dog's just a big mush. So she's doing that, and I had a daughter that was playing hockey, but she's done with that, and just busy with kids, man.
So they live back in Manitoba, your 2 daughters?
Yeah, my 2 daughters live back home in Manitoba, and my 2 boys are out here. So
Cool. Good stuff. So awesome to join us. Appreciate it. And are you still playing in some of those games with Trotz and them up in the northern communities?
Yeah, we just had one last month. Where we go up there, and you got to get on that, man.
Johnny Shabbat,
Awesome,
Shabby.
yeah.
I love Shabby. I played with Shabby here in Montreal. I just love that guy.
Good guy, really
nicest
good guy.
Yeah,
and he's doing a lot of good things with his first assist, and we got a lot of support, and go out there and talk to the kids, and go to the communities, and go to the schools, and try to pass on what we went through growing up, and just try to help them get on the right path, and go on to good things.
Awesome, good stuff. Ash, one of the good guys in the game, no question about it.
Appreciate it, buddy.
A lot of respect. Shout out to our Hall of Fame member of the week, Van Adam Simpson. Van Adam, thanks for your support. Keep listening, pal. We really appreciate it.